Hello everybody, this is Gold Glee Gamer 1 and Dyne, and welcome back to Let's Play Final Fantasy VI.
Last time we had somewhat of a dinner with the Emperor. No one ate anything though. And so the team has split up. The Emperor has requested Terra's help in tracking down the Espers. Locke has decided to go with her. Everyone else has decided to stay behind because for whatever reason they think something's up. Now, how can you possibly not trust the Emperor? He's only lied to you a few times so far. Oh dear, I've said too much.
I guess Kefka thinks we can't trust anyone.
Come on! How can you not trust a guy with a smile like mine? Of course, it doesn't translate too well in 16-bit. You have to play Dissidia. That's my voice actor in that one is just as hammy as here. Because I love to talk about an enemy being smack dab in the middle of enemy territory. It's one of his best lines from that game.
Yeah.
Oh, Bolt 2. I think Locke is done with the Ramu Esper. He's learned all the spells from it.
Yeah.
And actually, at this point, you want to give... definitely give Shiva to Locke so he can learn Ice too. The next dungeon boss is very handy for. But even if you don't, you'll have plenty of attacks that'll work well against that boss. And weed feeders. We're back in getting the same enemies multiple times in a row here.
Okay.
Then again, it is a different set. And again, I wasn't paying attention to the previous battle. Was it 2 Ralphs, or was that the one before? And heading back to Miranda. You can upgrade your equipment if necessary. Oh, chicken lips. 5 of them against 2 of you. And if they cast Quake, you're probably dead. But then again, you have that cherub down you bought at the auction house. That would protect you from Quake.
I don't know if I'll find any use for that.
It's useful against an optional boss during the second half of the game. But yeah, Float as a spell is not nearly as useful on this as it is in Final Fantasy IV.
Isn't the second half full of optional side quests?
Oh yeah.
And such?
Yeah, the second half is where the game no longer becomes linear. And you're free to take anything at your own pace.
Yeah, and go fight Kefka anytime you want.
Mm-hmm. If you can handle this dungeon with the 3 required characters you have at that point.
It's almost like oh, this is the earliest you can go fight Lavos. Let's go.
Death. Of course, in a New Game Plus, you can fight him even before enter the first gate.
Oh yeah, you can fight him like 2 minutes into the game. But yeah, but of course when we race that for Sinister Coon's Brutal Races, we will not be doing it that.
Oh, I need to plan out my setup for that since I'm going to be doing a New Game Plus. I have to check out that file and see what equipment there is.
Okay, when we get to that, we'll know for sure whose party member's choice is superior.
And that cyclonic hit lock. Unfortunately, you're at the airship and get free healing. If you step inside, you enter the lobby. Hey! Finally found the free healing guy.
Ah, that was him.
Yep, and the other guy is just an item shop. And if you come in here, it's a cutscene. I gotta admit, Setsu's pretty good to handle all this by himself. Actually surprised Edgar isn't in here helping him. He's the engineer. But then again, Sid offers to help, and Setzer will not let it happen. You don't touch his baby. Poor Sid. And a little more dialogue between the characters. But this is the only airship. Oh wait, you mean? Yep. There was another airship back at the time. Turns out Setzer had a love interest. I don't know why they gave her the name Daryl, which is usually a man's name, but...
Well... yeah.
And you could wander into the Chocobo Forest, or just walk all the way back to Albrook. Ah, Joker. I actually finished Lego Batman 3 last night, and throughout the second half of the game, Batman himself is disguised as the Joker. And even though Batman is a master of disguise, he cannot pull off Joker's attitude very well. And then again, neither one of them can tell a joke. Of course, Joker won't admit that. Yeah, the worst comedians are the ones who think they're funny, but in reality are not. Unfortunately, not all of them are homicidal maniacs like Joker.
Oh, like, well, could they be bad if they tell, like, bad jokes?
Yep. Bad jokes when they think they're hysterical and absolutely no one laughs.
Oh, well, do you think this, you think this one's funny? Why is Russia a fast country?
Because it's always rushing around places.
Close enough, because the people are always Russian.
Yep, heard that one. I think yeah, that one's used in the Adam West Batman movie, now that I think about it.
Well, hey, Batman used that one?
The Riddler used that one.
Oh.
Because Batman and Robin are deciphering a series of clues, and it's talking about how someone in rushing would slip on a banana peel and break her neck. And of course, one of the characters is indeed a Russian woman.
Okay.
Classic movies. And I'm just going to put a shout out for Lego Batman 3. You have to get it because it has Adam West.
Oh yeah, also, like there's this one SpongeBob episode where Adam West also played a younger version of Mermaid Man.
Nice.
Yeah.
Some days you just can't get rid of a bomb. Some days you just can't avoid random encounters. Some days you just can't download the DLC you're trying to get on your PlayStation Vita while doing commentary.
And some days Patrick Star can't resist tartar sauce.
Oh, let's see. Do people eat starfish with tartar sauce? That could be dangerous for them. Actually, I don't know if starfish are even edible.
No, I mean like that same episode I was mentioning where Patrick actually eats tartar sauce. Giant bucket of it.
Tartar sauce.
Yeah, of course, I'll probably never I'll never have tartar sauce because, it's like, why eat fish with tartar sauce when I prefer it plain?
No, it's personal preference.
Yeah.
Oh, Back Attack with the same group now.
Yeah.
The game is throwing things out now.
Now its name is Ralph and Wyvern.
I can't look at the name Wyvern without thinking of the horrible translation job on the PS1 version of Final Fantasy V. They translated Wyvern as Y-burn. The letter Y followed by the word burn.
Wait, they did that in Final Fantasy V?
Yep, in the PlayStation 1 translation.
So on the PlayStation 1, Japanese Final Fantasy V was translated into English?
Yep. And that, fortunately, when they ported the Game Boy Advance remake, they redid the translation much better. Even though they threw in some pop culture references, which are dated now.
Okay, so there is a English translation to all the Japan-only Final Fantasy games.
Yep, because Final Fantasy V was first localized for PlayStation 1, as was Final Fantasy 2, and then Final Fantasy 3 came a few years later on DS. And that one's also available on PSP and Steam now.
Yeah, and the later Final Fantasy games were all on any of the PS on the PlayStation consoles.
Yep. Yeah, we haven't seen a new Final Fantasy on a Nintendo console since 6. Well, not counting the spin-offs, like Crystal Chronicles.
Right. I guess Final Fantasy's become more of a PlayStation staple.
Yep. It's because Nintendo and Squaresoft had a big falling out at the end of the SNES era. Hey, it's that ninja guy. We've seen him a few times before, but never spoken to him. He owes allegiance to no one and will do anything for money. He comes and goes like the wind. Now, you can actually find out his name all the way back at the beginning of the game in South Figaro. You can recruit him for save a scenario and to go to Zozo. But this is the only time he's a required character.
Oh, or didn't you say there was a time you could actually recruit him at Imperial Camp?
Yeah. Because you can speak to him in that crazy old guy's cabin, and Shadow will join you. And he'll stay with you. Well, he'll randomly leave at times, but if not, he'll stay with you until you jump off Barren Falls. Yeah, this is the first time Terra and Celeste have seen each other since they first found Terra and Zozo. And you can talk to Shadow, and he'll say, I was hired by the Empire, don't worry, I'm not going to kill you in your sleep, basically.
Yeah. So apparently this is one town that actually requires you to spend the night at the inn.
Yep. Yeah, usually when that happens, it means the plot's going to advance in some way.
Yeah. Yeah, like, a lot of RPGs, I don't think, have scenarios where they require you to spend the night at a specific inn.
Well, some do, some don't, and of course, not a lot of them even use inns anymore. Like starting in Final Fantasy X, you just heal at save points. I don't remember if 12 used inns or not.
Yeah, but aren't all RPGs supposed to have item shops and inns?
Not all of them. It's a staple, but it's not required. I'm not going to say much because this music's too good. But it may sound familiar if you're listening closely. And the sad thing is, this is the only time you'll hear this unless you view an optional event later on. Locke continues to get the silent treatment. And with that done, just head back to the dock and the journey will continue.
Yep.
And of course, you can take time to go to the base at the east of the continent if you're feeling brave enough to go through the desert, but you can go back there anytime once you get your airship back. You're just sailing to the eastern corner of the map in the center. Well, there's not much else to do. Did anyone bring any fishing rods or frisbee or shuffleboard? You're in control of Terra, and this is more of a character development scene. Just talk to Leo, and it goes from there. And this is pretty much the scene that inspires people to ship Terra and Leo as a couple in fanfiction.
Oh, you mean like Lara?
Yep. Or Tio. I didn't think this game had any shippings. No, not officially. Really, the only official couple. Well, even then, doesn't really become official, so never mind.
Okay.
Tara wants to know what love is. By Foreigner. Never mind.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I've heard that song. Oh, yeah,
Suppose you walk into a karaoke bar and you want to put on I Want to Know What Love Is by Foreigner. What happens? People vomit? No.
I think you mean karaoke bar.
Yeah, I'm actually quoting a movie.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I have one Foreigner song on my phone. That's called "Cold as Ice."
I've heard of that one. Not familiar with it though.
Yeah.
Oh, she does want to know what love is. No.
It would believe that "Cold as Ice" was back in 1977.
And here's Shadow. He actually says more in this scene than pretty much the whole rest of the game.
Right.
I like his next line too.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to overhear anything. He was listening. Hey, how'd you know her name? You never got introduced to her. This world, there are many like me who killed their emotions. He's Batman.
Well, maybe he's heard things.
A lot of his backstory is actually revealed if you sleep in inns when he's in your party. They're kind of random, and you just have to be lucky. But with that somber scene over, it's time for comic relief. In every RPG, if you're on a boat, at least one party member will get seasick.
It does it happen all the time?
It just seems to be a common RPG trope.
Really? Well, let's see. I don't remember that ever happening in Mario RPG or Chrono Trigger.
Well, in Chrono Trigger, the only time you sail on the sea is an optional trip on a ferry, and Mario RPG doesn't even have any sailing.
No, but it has a sunken ship.
Well, you're not traveling on the sea. You're just under the water.
But I do remember a bit in Donkey Kong 64 where Chunky gets seasick, so.
I'm not surprised. It's chunky. So chunky.
Yeah.
I gotta love it when the punctuation doesn't match up with the text. The period was on its own line. Puck, wasn't he a character in Midsummer Night's Dream?
Wait, that's where the name Puck comes from?
Yep, he's kind of a mischievous fairy, if I remember correctly.
Oh, well, from a reference, Puck was actually named after Noah Puckerman from Glee.
Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to remember his exact role in that. I also remember... Well, it doesn't really have anything to do with the current context, so never mind. Yeah, Midsummer Night's Dream is one of Shakespeare's plays. Major characters are Titania and Oberon, the queen and king of the fairies. I actually don't remember the plot, though. Never read it personally. It was just put on a play at my school when I was growing up. My brother was in it.
Ah.
And you have Shadow. He's the only one in the game who can throw ninja stars and weapons at enemies. It's pretty much a powerful physical attack based on the strength of the item. And of course,
yeah.
you can start teaching him magic too.
I don't know why I found him like useless the first time I tackled the final fight.
He's actually pretty powerful. He has one of the highest natural strength growths, and he's one of the strongest characters in the first half of the game. But here's a town that you could come to early on, but they wouldn't let you do anything. Unfortunately, at this point, you can start buying equipment, whereas you wouldn't be able to earlier. The video's about over.
Yeah, I know. Alright, until next time, this is Gold Glee Gamer 1 and Dyne. Later, folks.
Bye, guys.